In the quiet town of Riverford lived a hard-working man named Daniel Carter. He lived with his wife, Laura, and their two bright daughters, Grace and Clara. Every morning, Daniel would fire up an old, noisy scooter, the only thing his late father had left him. It was a cherished piece of his past and a crucial part of his present. He'd use it to drop his daughters at college before making the long journey to Metro City for work. One morning, as they pulled up to the college gates, Grace turned to him. "Dad, we're grown up now. You don't need to come every day." Clara nodded in agreement. "We can manage on our own, really." Daniel just smiled, his eyes warm and full of love. "No matter how old you become, you'll always be my little girls. Now, you finish up, and I'll be here to take you home." Later that day, back at their small house, Laura handed Daniel his lunchbox. "This scooter makes so much noise," she said, a hint of worrying in her voice. "How do you manage riding this old thing all the way to the city, especially when it rains?" Daniel just laughed it off. "This scooter was my father's. It gets me to the city and brings me back safely every day. For me, that's more than enough." But that very day, nature decided to test his words. The sky opened up, and a relentless rain began to fall. Metro City was hit the hardest. The streets turned into rivers, roads disappeared under murky water, and all public transport ground to a halt. For 3 long days, Daniel didn't come home. When he finally walked through the door, soaked and exhausted, Laura rushed to him. "Daniel, where were you?" "We were terrified, and where's your scooter?" Daniel's face was heavy with fatigue. The city was completely flooded. "The old scooter just couldn't take it. It broke down, and I had to leave it behind." Laura sighed, pulling him into a hug. "Well, we can't fight against nature. The important thing is you're safe." Grace overheard their conversation, and in her mind, a spark of an idea began to glow. She couldn't stand seeing her father so defeated. The next day, she pulled her sister Clara aside and led her to a quiet, winding path in the forest. "Dad needs a new scooter," Grace said with determination. "But not just any scooter. It needs to be one that can run on water, not just on roads." Clara looked at her, puzzled. "Grace, that's impossible." But just as she said it, a figure emerged from behind a large oak tree. He was an older man with kind eyes and wore a strange, shimmering coat. "It's not impossible," he said calmly. "You can build such a scooter." The girls were startled. Who are you?" Grace asked, her voice trembling slightly. "I'm a scientist," he replied, a gentle smile playing on his lips. "A scientist from the future." He held out his hand. In his palm were 2 small, glowing capsules and a rolled-up piece of paper. "These capsules will temporarily enhance your intelligence, unlocking parts of your mind you never knew you had. This paper holds the complete design for a water scooter." He paused, his expression turning serious. "But you must remember this one rule. If the gravity balance is wrong, the scooter will sink. You must follow the calculations precisely." Before they could ask another question, he simply vanished, as if he were never there. Stunned but curious, the sisters looked at each other, then at the capsules. Without another word, they swallowed them. A strange warmth spread through them, and suddenly, complex equations and engineering principles filled their minds. The world seemed clearer, simpler. Unrolling the paper, they saw intricate designs and formulas. "This is incredible," Clara whispered. "But how will we ever afford the materials to build this?" Just then, Daniel walked up behind them. He had overheard their hushed, excited voices. He looked at the design, a flicker of hope in his eyes. "Don't stop," he said, his voice firm. "I don't know how, but I will arrange the money. If this machine can truly work, it will help so many people, not just our family." With their father's blessing, Grace and Clara dedicated themselves to the project. They worked day and night, their newfound intelligence guiding their hands. Their small garage was transformed into a workshop filled with wires, metal sheets, and the sounds of creation. After weeks of tireless effort, the water scooter was finally ready. It was sleek, futuristic, and hummed with a quiet power. They took it to a secluded spot near the sea for its first test. Daniel, his heart pounding with a mix of fear and excitement, sat on it carefully. He took a deep breath, engaged the motor, and slowly drove from the sandy shore directly onto the water. It didn't sink. It glided, effortlessly and smoothly, across the surface of the sea. "It works, it actually works," the girls shouted, hugging each other in triumph. Their invention couldn't have come at a better time. Soon, another storm hit, and Metro City was once again submerged. This time, Daniel wasn't stranded. He rode his water scooter across the flooded roads, weaving through stalled cars and helping stranded people. He became a local hero. The sight was so incredible that news of the amazing water scooter spread like wildfire. Soon, people from all the nearby towns were coming to Riverford, desperate to buy one. Grace and Clara, seeing the immense need, started producing more scooters, but their success did not go unnoticed. In Metro City, a greedy scooter dealer named Victor Ross watched his business crumble. His showroom was full of traditional scooters that were now useless in the frequent floods. Ever since these water scooters appeared, my sales have plummeted. Victor raged to his assistant, Ryan. Ryan, always eager to please his boss, added, I heard it's those two girls from Riverford, Daniel Carter's daughters, who invented it. Victor's eyes narrowed. We have to stop them, he snarled. They drove to Riverford and confronted the sisters, demanding they stop selling their scooters in the city. But Grace and Clara, confident in their mission to help people, refused to be intimidated. Frustrated, Victor devised a new plan. He sent Ryan to secretly steal the design paper from the sisters' workshop. With the plans in his hands, Victor felt a surge of triumph. He looked at the warning about the gravity balance but scoffed. Heavier means more powerful, faster, he declared, ignoring the precise calculations. He decided to build his own version, but with extra weight and a bigger engine, convinced it would outperform the original. Finally, Victor's scooter was ready. He issued a public challenge to Grace and Clara at the seashore, boasting that his machine was far superior. As they all gathered, Clara took one look at Victor's scooter and saw the flaw immediately. You didn't calculate the weight properly, she warned him calmly. The gravity balance is off. It won't float. Victor just laughed in her face. Nonsense. My scooter is a masterpiece. He and Ryan climbed aboard, revving the engine loudly. They sped off the shore and onto the water. For a moment, it seemed to work. The scooter lurched forward across the waves, but then it began to wobble violently. It lost its balance, tipped sharply to one side, and in an instant, the heavy machine sank beneath the waves, pulling both Victor and Ryan down with it. They disappeared into the deep water. A silence fell over the shore. Clara looked out at the empty sea and said softly, I warned them. The crowd stood in stunned silence, a powerful lesson unfolding before their very eyes. Grace and Clara had used their knowledge to create, to help, and to save. Victor, driven by greed, had used the same knowledge to destroy himself. The story of the water scooter teaches us a timeless truth. Knowledge without wisdom is dangerous. Greed ultimately leads to destruction, but intelligence guided by kindness and a desire to help others has the power to change the world for the better. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content that makes you think.